often okay, hey guys, you aren't doing that well enough. We've got to help you reorganize your response. It is a difficult dance sometimes, but it's important that we need to...
Question on that comment. Then what's the value of the ACP if they're going to do what they want to do?
That's a good question. But the ACP should think about those things.
And then let me build on that if I can. I'm going to be constructive.
Sure.
I think barring that responsibility that OPA puts on that responsible party, if we're looking for a management structure, a response structure, I think there's a way to make everybody happy, plus keep the eligibility for reimbursement high, the possibility very high. If BP was utilizing the ACP in the past to develop their attack plan, if you will, then I think we can do a structure, and this is just a concept, you can tweak it based upon OPA and all that other stuff. Yes, everyone's saying we can manage this locally. Yes, you're responsible with the responsible party to clean this up. Instead of taking the responsibility as the implementator, take it as a manager, use us as the tool to implement. In theory, every county is a contractor under what you guys do. Certainly that management structure as far as branches and whatnot can be tweaked geographically or whatnot. Every county has a different capability. So your ACP in general will have they set up the basic parameters on how the response will occur. It will set up a default response plan for those counties or cities that can't respond, so that you will take that over and handle those counties that can. For those counties that have that capability, the counties as an addendum or an appendix to the plan will develop a response plan with those parameters, the basic parameters of the ACP, and then have that plan approved based upon the proper strategies, boom effective as opposed to this or whatnot, whatever those parameters are on the main part of the plan. Every county, if they choose to do so, will develop their response plan, have it approved through the process. That way, when a spill occurs, you guys say, make it happen, and we'll let you guys go, knowing that we'll probably most likely get reimbursed because it's already approved. Whatever the company is using your plan, so therefore having that default in there. So we're protecting our ability to get reimbursed. We're taking more control as contractors to the process. We'll handle it. Now, the only challenge to this whole process is everybody's competing for the same limited resources to respond. So whoever's quickest off the draw to get contractors in place wins. And they may not be the ones that need those resources, whereas other communities may need them as a priority. So there may be something in there, that basic concept of the response plan, the default plan, if you will, that there has to be some way to prioritize it. Sandy County that doesn't have any oil yet may never see oil yet because the spill happened on the coast of California. We can take all the resources away from everybody, and then you've defeated the whole purpose. So I don't know what that answer is, but there may be a prioritization on how we've contracted. Now, we'll share our resources until we need them. But again, that works up through that management structure. But use us as a contractor, I think might fill a lot of the gaps, and you manage them. The plan was approved previously. The county's got an addendum and appendices. We like their strategy. We agree with it. We approve it. BP or whoever, you're using our plan. We're letting them go. You're fine with it, good. And then we go. And then as the event evolves, they can start to be assimilated back into a macro level where the company takes over contracts or whatever on a more appropriate, through a more appropriate process. That's just a concept that might solve some of the problems.
Okay, that's a great concept. A whole bunch of people use that in Harrison County after Katrina and they went to jail. So you got to be real careful with that.
You guys know the ins and outs.
Yeah, I know them.
With that said, oh yeah, last Trisha. Okay, Trisha, give me your best shot here now.
Okay. My name is Trisha Springstead. I come from a long line of military. My father was captain in the United States Marine Corps, gave his life for his country. My mother was a Marine. My husband is an Army surgeon. He was an Army surgeon. He's now in private practice. I'm a registered nurse. I have my degree in biological science from UCSB. I think from the beginning of this spill, that people felt like the fox was guarding the hen house. We, I'm not here to make a blame game or play the blame game or anything. What I want to say is, first of all, the Coast Guard, we know we're working in Washington, D.C., Barbara Wiseman at Earth Organization, LEAN, Louisiana Environmental Action Network, numerous people, David Fuqua, Steve Pedigio, many of us have been up in D.C. Much of my work has gone to D.C. I love my country. And I know that, first of all, Corexit contains 2-butoxyethanol. That is a very dangerous substance. And when you're dealing with 2-butoxyethanol among other chemicals and abiotic oil that was coming out of that well, then you are going to get methanes. I mean, the methane and the hexane levels are just going to increase in the air. We probably have now, I would say, Trisha and I probably have over 2,000 people reporting to us that are very sick. I am certified by Metametrics Clinical Laboratories. We're getting mercury levels that are very, very high in people, lead toxicity. On top of that, volatile organic compounds and polyaromatic hydrocarbons on board. We got a phone call last week. We were on a radio program. There was a gentleman whose child was 3 years old. His parents took him and let him swim in the water in New Orleans. And what happened was he went to D.C. to report this. And when he went to D.C., they told him, just take your child home because he's 2,500 times the amount of the limit of hexane. And your child's DNA is changed and he is going to die. And in that radio show, I said to that gentleman, don't you ever let anybody tell you your child is going to die. You call Dr. Walter Crinian, you call Metametrics, you call these people. But we have many sick people. We have put together as patriots, because we are the patriots, and we want to work with you, and we want to do the right thing. We have just gotten approval in D.C. to use OSEI2, oil spill eater 2, at wellheads, even when things are coming from beneath the water. In this packet I'm going to give to you, I have an article that was published by the National Public Health Alert, and it got 1 million hits. I have President Obama's statement on June 14th, 2010, and we need to hold him to that statement. I have the FOIA requests that were sent by numerous people. And what I found out when I sent my FOIA requests, and numerous others of us sent our requests, we found out that the Department of Commerce, there were 6 contractors that fell under the Department of Commerce that were running this spill. We also found out through our FOIAs that 10 other contractors fell under the Department of the Treasury. I feel as though Lisa Jackson, I have tried to communicate with her. I have in here our responses from the Honorable Congressman Markey, who got the right, he actually got the right videos down there at that well head. In here is, I wrote a letter to Joseph Biden. He threw me off to the CDC and Health and Human Services. They have been putting me through here, just a ringer, in order to get validation for these people and get them the help that they need. We have a 34 case, the Gulf Rescue Alliance, we have 34 cases of seriously, and we all work together on this, of 34 people that are seriously compromised in health issues. We have seafood safety spreadsheets. We have satellite photos that we put on the Wings of Care. John Waltham, Trisha, myself, and a group of us all work together, and we can show you where there is fresh oil from August 31st. It's all in this documentation. We have the Homeland Security, dispersant use. We have ACT Laboratories, the bioremediation chemical analysis. And we have 5 sections, the surf rider water testing. We want to help you all.
What, I guess, are you concerned with the fact that oil went in the water? Is that what you were concerned with?
Yes, sir. And
Okay, yeah, we all were.
I was
okay,
very.
So now was the next part concerned with the dispersant use, or just the
Yes, sir.
the whole response generally, or what?
Yes,
specifically?
what we looked at, what we began to look at after the spill is OSEI had been used all over the world. And then there's another product, Bioremediation Inc. They have a bioremediation Optiflex. They're excellent, and they're on the EPA list now.
Okay.
And
so maybe bioremediation would have been, your sense is it was underused.
Yes, sir.
And dispersants were overused.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of, you thought that strategy should have been, the balance should have been different.
Absolutely. But the other thing is that I have photographs that were sent to me of silicon tetrafluoride. Silicon tetrafluoride was being guarded along the in New Orleans. And the reason I believe that they used silicon tetrafluoride was because of the salinization of the water. And so what we did was I have photographs, and I have my FOIA on silicon tetrafluoride and on the Corexit 9500s.
Yeah.
I have not gotten any answers back. Henry Fuqua from New Orleans. I live in Florida.
Okay.
But I have been up and down this coast on my own time, on my own dime, to interview people and talk to them and find out, we want to help you all. We are the people, and we know our waters. And I was out on those boats with people. I was out with Captain Lori DeAngelis in Alabama. I was up in Apalachicola standing in oil.
Yeah.
I was watching fishermen being taken down by a fisherman. I walked into an oyster house. The day I walked into that oyster house, the oysterman looked at me and said, the FDA and Fish and Wildlife came into my oyster house today, and they made me recall all my oysters 41 days prior and made me pay $350,000 to recall my own oysters. And he looked at me and I'm done. So when you're out there with these people and you see grown men cry, because the average oysterman only has, an 8th grade education, 8 anywhere to 10, and they're 7th generation. That's their life. When you see these kind of things, and I think the people felt so disconnected. The disconnect between the people of the Gulf and the government and the powers that were supposed to be, they felt disconnected. So I basically want to work with everybody. And I want to see this done. I want our water bioremediated, and there's a way to do it. And we want to come at this in partnership and in union.
Did you help with the plan in 2008?
Nobody asked me.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. That's true.